Masters. It's good to be here today to talk to you about one of the notorious time bandits that I've experienced in my life, and I'm sure you have too. I want to begin today by telling you a story about a lumberjack. And this lumberjack went out and he was able to cut down 20 trees before nightfall on the first day he went to work. And he was pretty pleased with that because that was his quota, so he needed to do that to support his family and his home. The next day he went out, but he was only able to cut down 19 before nightfall. So because his quota was 20, he spent the extra time working into the evening cutting down that 20th tree. Well, the next day went pretty much the same, except for he was only able to cut 18. And so again, he worked into the evening until he was able to meet his quota. Well, he began to get a little distressed about this. And on the fourth day, as he was busily working away cutting down his trees, an old friend came along, and he quickly told his friend of this predicament that he was in, not being able to get the trees cut down in time. And his friend looked at him and he asked him a simple question. He said, "Are you taking time to sharpen the saw?" And the man looked up at him in disdain and said, "Why, no! I'm way too busy to be sharpening my saw right now." So it's a simple story, makes a good point. Saws are made to cut things. And unless they're maintained and sharpened, they don't do a very good job. And we aren't able to cut things as quickly or as efficiently as we want to. So today, when talking about the time bandit, I think many of us in our lives, in our busy schedules and the busy things we do, try to get more and more things done by leaving out certain activities in our life that we need to help sharpen our own proverbial saw. So I want to talk about that today and the four aspects of our own proverbial saw that make up our being. I'm going to go through them right now. They're physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Those are the four elements that we want to talk about just briefly here to talk about sharpening our own saw. The physical aspect is real simple. It has to do with survival. It's our body. It needs certain things. We need food, we need sleep, and we need water. And if we don't take care of our body, it ceases to function, it dies. We don't survive, and it can't do what it is that we need it to do. So that's a simple thing. But maybe for you, there's some specific things, because fortunately in this land we have the unprecedented blessing of knowing where our next meals are coming from and the ability to get water and everything else we need whenever we need it. And that's a wonderful thing. So it's just a simple thing of trying to take care of ourselves well in our physical sense. Maybe it's exercise, maybe it's getting more sleep. Whatever it may be for you in the physical realm, we need to take care of each part, each element of who we are, of our being. So the next one, the emotional or social, has to do with loving and being loved, participating in events, family, friends, groups like this, where we make connections with other people who have shared values and interests. And those are really important aspects to our emotional being, that we get to participate and share in those kinds of things. And then the third one, the mental aspect. We all need to be learning and growing. Gene talked about this and I loved it. It's expanding the comfort zone, getting beyond a little bit where you're comfortable. Well, mentally, in our minds, taking on new tasks and projects can be challenging. But once we get outside that challenge, we've taken some new ground, and that's a great thing. And then fourth, spiritual. We need to have a sense of who we are and where we're going. And that to me speaks to what I like to say is identity, who we are, and where we're going is destiny. So those are the two things, and I think spiritually, those are the things that kind of are the underpinnings that sort of fuel the rest. That's why we do what we do. Those are our purposes, what I like to call our roles, so that we have to play to fulfill our purposes. So you're asking, well, what can I do about that? Or what am I already doing about that? Well, this is something that comes from a very familiar author. His name is Stephen Covey. And for those of you who have read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you know that the 7th habit is to sharpen the saw. That's what it is. And so today I thought I would hand out this just to share with you what you can do to help drive what you do from week to week to fulfill the many roles that we're all called to fulfill. Just today I was thinking about the different roles, and I was thinking how what drives me to do what I do and what roles are the most important roles for me to fill. And so I thought about my wife. I thought about my children. So there's husband, there's dad. And then I thought about my job, and I thought about my church, and I thought about the ranger group that we're in, and all these different things. And so what we need to do is identify what it is we're already doing to sharpen our saw. That helps, because we're all doing things to take care of ourselves. It's just, what are we doing? So we can kind of quantify that. So you put that together, and then where do you need to pay more attention? Where are you weak? Where is it that you need to focus? Maybe you're doing really good on your exercise routine, but you never take time to just get quiet and just listen to your heartbeat, or just listen to the river, or listen to the birds sing. Smell the flowers, so to speak. And so those things combined, as you go down that list and you look at your roles, you'll notice that on that page, the very first role is to sharpen the saw. And if we do that, we become more efficient and more able with the time that we have left after we've taken care of ourselves than we do when we don't. If we make it a habit to take care of ourselves and invest in ourselves, we'll be able to then invest more productively in others and enjoy it. Because we're well, and we know we're well. We know we're taking care of business. So, just as it's silly for a lumberjack to insist he doesn't have time to sharpen his saw, the same is true for us if we don't take time to take care of ourselves. Hopefully these things will help you in thinking about how